it cost me a lot to get into this Hall of Fame, but I was willing to pay it, and
it's paid off for you.
It did, because look, they brought me back as a host. Go figure. No, this is going to be a lot of fun. This event has taken on a life of its own, and it's now in its third year. I think we can see it's big.
Oh, it is. And I wanted to ask you about, like, maybe one of the signature people going in, Marvin Hagler. The Tommy Hearns, that round could have been the greatest round that I've ever seen, and then plus his fight with Ray Leonard.
Yeah, I sat with Marvin for a half hour last night. We reminisced, and nobody meant more to boxing in the 80s than Marvin Hagler. That was a magical time for boxing, and I'm honored tonight because I'm going to get to induct him into the Hall of Fame, so I'm excited.
This is my second time attending the event. The first time co-hosting. I'll be co-hosting with Al Bernstein and Rosie Perez tonight and doing interviews with the inductees, so I'm really looking forward to being a part of such a great event.
Rosie is very good, but Al, you're going to have trouble with.
I know, right? She's the pro when it comes down to it. But honestly, to be amongst those two at an event like tonight, their knowledge and history of boxing, it's really an honor.
Do you get nervous before you do things like this?
No, I've been doing live television and interviews and working in boxing for the past 5 years, so I don't really get too nervous, but you get excited. It's that anxious energy for sure.
And have you met any of the inductees?
I have. We had a cocktail party last night. Lennox Lewis, Marvelous Marvin Hagler was there. I work for Top Rank. Lee Samuels, our publicist, is being inducted tonight. So I had a chance to mingle with some of them, and all very much class acts.
I feel good. Even if the wave wasn't this big, I still feel the way I feel right now. It's just a blessing to be here tonight and be able to see these magnificent fighters and be accepted and appreciated tonight, and honored,
Do you ever in your mind think maybe you keep going the way you're going, you're gonna be inducted?
Here's the funny part is Sugar Ray Leonard knows me, Marvin Hagler. Those are two of my favorite fighters. Marvin Hagler being my favorite of all time. I sat next to Lennox Lewis last night. He knew exactly who I was. Tito Trinidad, once he arrived at the event last night, he pointed me out, you know what I mean? So it's things like that lets me know that I'm on the right track to becoming, one of these Hall of Fame fighters.
When I'm with you and I talk about you and Hagler, I always say that I felt like you won that fight. I talked to Marvin earlier in the day, and I told him I thought he won because I don't want to get hurt. No.
Very smart man. You're a very smart man.
What do you remember about that fight?
Just the vibe, just the energy, just the anticipation. It was a huge event, and I believed I could win, but I wasn't completely sure until I got into the ring and the first bell that he stayed right-handed, which allowed me to kind of get settled. That fight was more psychological than it was physical.
He wanted to fight again, but Marvin wouldn't do it.
Well, that's Marvin, and kudos to him. He's one of the old timers in a sense, whereas that, when he makes up his mind, he makes up his mind. He said he got screwed and he left the States and went to, I think he moved to Milan, Italy. But I saw him last night, and we hugged each other, and had fond memories.
Your father had he's larger than life. He's an icon, but going into the Hall of Fame here in Nevada, there has to be did he express to you what he felt?
Well, I talked to him on the phone before the event, and he's extremely humbled and honored to be a part of this list. He only fought here in Las Vegas 7 times, more wins than losses. But he has a lot of history here in Vegas, and he's extremely honored to be a part of this list of inductees who are extremely talented boxers. Some are his friends, but he really, really waited for this moment, and it finally came. My dad has inspired and has taught us so much. His humility and his art of giving has really, honestly, has taught us a lot as children growing up. But I knew at a young age that we had to share him with the world. So knowing that, it takes a toll because we wanted to be with him a lot. But we know how much he's given back to the world, and so now we look back and say, maybe that sacrifice wasn't too bad after all.
What do you? How do you look at the heavyweight division now? It's certainly not as strong at all like it was when you were in your prime.
No, during the 70s, we had a lot of good fighters fighting then. We had a lot of great trainers. So it kind of fell off some now because a lot of trainers died, so guys not getting trained proper. It's a shame, but it's just the way it goes sometimes.
If you were maybe a little bit younger, you would be the heavyweight champion right now.
Yes, I probably would. I probably had 2 or 3 or 4 titles.
Where did this tremendous power come from? Because you had the most power of anybody in knockout.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on a farm. I did a lot of chopping trees back in the 70s with our furnace and throwing bales of hay. And that created your back and power and leg muscles, power come from. That's where it came from.
And if you had you faced who's who of people, who was that stands out in your memory, Muhammad Ali? Who would it be when you look back on your career?
I've said Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes, both 2 great champs. Larry had a hell of a jab. Ali had a quicker but wasn't powerful Larry. Larry and I are very best friends, so Larry and Ali both.
What do you look at the state of the heavyweight division now? It's kind of shaky. It's not like it was when you were fighting.
Well, it's not, but I still think it's a lot of young prospects that's coming up that I think can do some things. You got Deontay Wilder, who's a heavyweight champion right now. You got this kid, Anthony Joshua, who was Olympic gold medalist, undefeated, all knockouts. You got a guy named Dylan White, who actually had a victory over him in the amateurs and actually dropped him in the fight. So they're going to be fighting later on this year. So it's some intriguing matchups. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the heavyweight division progresses later.